Hey, it's Corey with Piper Media Group, and today I want to talk to you about training videos for your franchise. So why would you want training videos for your franchise? Well, there's only about 1,000 reasons. The first reason you want to have training videos is consistency. You want to make sure that the people in Tallahassee are learning to make the burgers the same exact way they are in Portland. You want to make sure that the displays for the screw boxes or the flux capacitors or whatever you're selling are put together the same way in every store from Houston to New York City. Next, people need to learn at a pace that's comfortable for them. And you cannot pause a corporate trainer, but you can pause a video. Well, I guess you probably could pause a corporate trainer, but then they may get off topic. They may not follow along plan. They may not come right back the same way. You need your consistent message to be able to be delivered at a pace that's comfortable for the people you're training. Next, videos are one of the most effective ways to get people to absorb information. It's got audio, so you can hear it. It's got a visual component, so you can see it. And if you provide them with a workbook while you're doing the training, you have all three components necessary for an amazing training program. So you want to make sure that people have the option to learn in the best way they can, and videos along with workbooks provide that 100%. Fourth, it's cost effective. Once you get a training video in place, it's in place. You don't have to pay somebody to come in on their day off because somebody called in sick. Nobody's going to come in hungover. You are going to have a video that gives exactly the message you want to every single person that joins your team. And lastly, if you do need to make changes, you can just make changes. You can add on to videos. Videos aren't written in stone. You can absolutely edit them, change them, upgrade them, update them all the time. I know all my clients tell me that they've made changes, and we just go in and do an addendum. It's not that hard. Now you understand why you need videos. You agree with me that it's a good idea. So how do you do it? Glad you asked. So first of all, you need to understand what your people do and don't know and what they do and don't need to know. You need to do some sort of assessment to find the gaps in your current system so that you can create effective videos that deliver exactly the right information that you need your people to have. After that, you should consult with your franchisees and your employees to gather input about what's essential, what's worked in the past. Just because you did it one way doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best way and that your franchisees haven't figured out a better way. Perhaps they have a better method. Perhaps they've changed things and it's not better and you need to know those things. Either way, talk to your franchisees and their employees and find out what's working best in the field and then train to that. So next, you need to make sure that you are talking about the things that are most important first. You need to make sure that you are facing your customers correctly and that you are giving effective training materials so that your customers and their customers all get treated the same and well. And last, you need to make sure that the training you're creating is in line with company goals. You want to be perceived by your franchisees and their employees the same way that you want their people to perceive them. So train them like you would want to be trained and like you want them to do the job. So this leads us to storyboards and script writing. Now this can be terrifying. I've actually included an additional document that kind of shows you how I do these things. So there's a script and a storyboard sheet available for you to download. No problem. You can find it down there. But a well-crafted script will let your people know what to say, when to say, and how to say it. And a storyboard will let everyone know what they're supposed to see when they're supposed to see it. Now, when I do a script, I do a pretty simple script for all types of training. It's a 2-column thing. First column is what you hear, what's being said, and the second column is what is seen. So voice, imagery behind it. Voice, imagery behind it. This is almost a foolproof way to make sure that the video you have in your head comes out on the paper. So when you're doing your script writing, first thing you need to do is you need to be making sure that you're using clear and concise language. Don't use big words, don't use crazy words. Be direct, be efficient with the language you're using. Next, you need to maintain friendly, professional tone. But I suggest keeping it fun as well. I know that when I was a young guy growing up watching training videos, that if they were boring and monotone and not doing any type of inflection or not changing the scenery at all, if it was just one dude or one gal sitting on screen just talking directly to the screen and nothing else happening, I guarantee you, young Corey was not paying even an ounce of attention. So let's make sure that we're doing the same for your people. Include step-by-step instructions. Don't skip steps. Don't assume people know things. Step-by-step gives you all the way. Give examples. Show pictures of people doing it. Make sure that they understand exactly what you mean and show them exactly how to do it. Also, and this is going to sound maybe a little silly, but include stories. So when you're telling somebody about how to load the fryers or how to change the oil in the fryers, make sure that you have somebody showing them how to do it and explain to them through story why it matters, what it does to the taste of a French fry. Or when you're building a display to display your beer at your next liquor event, make sure that people understand why you have this guy standing up with his chest puffed out, or why you have this lady, with a smile or whatever. Be very, very clear. Tell the story. Make sure people not only understand what to do, but the why of it and the impact it has. And lastly, be transparent on what you need to see, hear, smell, taste, all the above. Don't leave anything to chance. Be very clear. So storyboarding, that's a tough one. Some of my clients want them, some of my clients don't, but I think they're very valuable. It gives you the ability to clearly show the filmmaker, myself, exactly what you want to see on screen. You can include things like notes, angles, camera movement, stuff like that. And then you also have the ability to set up a board where you have your scripts. Also have the ability to set up a board where you have your scripts and your storyboards in alignment together so that it's kind of a no-brainer. There's no room for error. You will get exactly what you want because you're showing and telling exactly what you want and need. So how do you make sure you get a good video? Well, there's a lot of production techniques out there, and be honest with you, making good videos is a craft. It's not just going to happen automatically, but there are certain things that you can do to make sure that your video stands out. One, I've said it before, I'll say it again, use a high-resolution camera. You need this video to be clear on a big screen and on a phone screen. So you need people to be able to get clear images and not be distracted by what they see on the screen. Next, you need good lighting. This lighting here, as I've shown in previous videos, is 100% manufactured. It is good because I've made it good. You want to make sure that the person talking is the brightest thing in the screen. Things like that. There are a lot of ways to screw up lighting, so make sure you pay attention to it. And next, get a good microphone to capture audio. Under no circumstances should you ever use a built-in microphone for anything, ever, anywhere, at all, ever. It's bad business. Do not give crappy audio to your clients, your franchisees, your franchisors, your trainees, anybody. They need to be able to clearly hear everything that's being said to them. Now, background. Like my background is clean. I've got this light here on the books. You see it. I've got my logo back there. You've got a couple of sprinkling lights back there to break up the monotony. Keep the background clean and free of distraction. You want people paying attention to the message in the speaker, not looking at the cat licking its butt in the corner or something like that. I probably shouldn't have said cat licking its butt, but I'm leaving it in. B-roll. B-roll is the clips that go along with the story that all video producers use to glue the story together. Example, if you were to tell a story about a training video and say don't pay attention to the cat licking its butt in the background, you might want to cut to a picture of a cat licking its butt. We're not doing that here, but that would be an example of using B-roll to glue the story together. Oh well, I wasn't raised right. Last but not least, use diversity. Make sure that the people in your video and the visuals in your video represent the people that are going to be working for you and that you're going to be serving. The world is a multicultural place. We all come in different shapes, sizes, belief, creeds, and everything else, and your video should represent that too. Make sure that everyone that watches your video feels like they can see themselves in that video. It's very, very important for buy-in, especially for your employees. And then, the last part for making the video is editing. Make sure the edits are tight. Make sure that you're using text and graphics overlays to drill the information home. If you say you have 80% of clients always upgrade the software package to the Platinum Referral Solution Source, show a graph of like a box moving up to where it reaches 80 degrees. These things help drive the message home, so more elements on the screen get more buy-in, and they also get retained longer. Use transitions. Make sure that when you go from one part of the video to the next part of the video, that it makes sense, that it's not jarring. Include background music to get people to buy into it, to pay attention. And then make sure that the people that you're hiring have the ability to understand what it is. If you have a job where you might be hiring deaf people, make sure that you have closed captions available for them. If you have a job where you might be hiring blind people, but maybe your training materials need to be in Braille, make sure that you are accessible to everyone that you could possibly be hiring to do your job. Now, after you get the videos made, you got to distribute them. You can upload them to your platform on your website where you have a secure portal where all your trainees go, or you could just have a YouTube channel where they go to. There are lots of different ways to make sure that your people can get a hold of the content. Oh, also make sure that it looks good on computer screens, TV screens, and even your phone. So if you got a bunch of tiny text in your videos, the kids that are watching on their phone, or the adults that are watching on their phone, will not be able to read it. So pay close attention to that stuff. So you got your videos, you think it's going to go great. Now you got to test it and figure out if people are really learning how to do their job. You need to track some metrics. One, you need to know if the people you're hiring are watching your videos. So make sure you're placing them in a place that shows how long each person is watching these videos. Next, are they engaging with it? Is there a workbook that goes along with it? Are they filling out the book? Or is there some sort of Q&A on the actual website? Are they actually doing that as well? These are very important things to ask yourself. Feedback. What are the people that do the training telling you about the videos? Are there parts they like? Are there parts they hate? Either way, you should be knowing these things, or you should look into these things so that you can do a better job next time, or even adjust the ones we have now. Performance. At the end of the training, are they able to take the test that you give them and pass it? And then last but not least, real world. When they get in the field, or when they get on the floor, or when they get on the road, are they able to perform the tasks that we wanted to train them to do? If the answer is yes, then we have good training videos. So, in closing, a good series of training videos is a very good investment. One of the main reasons it's a good investment is the message never changes. Your training videos never call in sick. They never come in hungover. They never change their mind or shortchange or forget to include something. They're always right 100% of the time, and they're always ready to rock and roll. So, if you'd like to learn more about these kind of videos and how they may help you in your business, please reach out.